The US government are currently holding $14 billion of Bitcoin, and yesterday many people freaked out and panicked because they moved over $2 billion of Bitcoin. Did you guys miss me? It has been a long time. I missed you guys a lot. I had a very strong throat infection and also eye infection. My eyes are a little bit red still, and I couldn't talk for over 1 week. That's why also I could not make any update video, but now we are back better than ever. And as always, we have two teas today. We have a black tea and we have also a mint tea. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe, hit the ring bell, and also smash like for the algorithm. Today I prepared an amazing update video for all of you guys. First of all, number one, we had the Bitcoin Nashville conference, and Donald Trump, potentially the next president, spoke there. He made some big, bold announcements. The most important things that he said, that if he gets elected, he will fire on day one Gary Gensler as the SEC chairman, and this would be very bullish for crypto because so far he only puts in roadblocks for all the ETFs, for Bitcoin, also for the future Solana ETF, which could be well approved if he becomes president. That's also why I started buying Solana every single day a little bit, because the chances now are very high that next year we will have a Solana ETF, because right now the chances actually are almost 60% that he will become the next president. So number one, he will fire Gary Gensler. Also, he will create a US government strategic national Bitcoin fund, essentially holding Bitcoin, and he will not sell Bitcoin, and he will make sure that the USA will be the dominating power in Bitcoin and also crypto. However, Bitcoin and crypto is so big and so important now, and especially the interest for retail and also institutions are so big that in the long term, it does not matter who is president. Yes, of course, for the short term and medium long term, Trump would make it a bit better than, of course, the second most highest chance here with Kamala Harris. But now it's the opposite way. Bitcoin does not need them. They need Bitcoin because they realize how many retailers and also how many institutions want Bitcoin and need Bitcoin. Also, another Republican candidate, Robert Kennedy, said that if he becomes president, he would make the US buy 550 Bitcoins every single day until they have a reserve of 4 million Bitcoin. Now, this would equate to around 20% of the total supply. And although everyone loves it essentially and celebrates this, I actually think that this would be very bad, because one major important part about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is decentralized, which means that one party does not hold too many Bitcoins. Now, this essentially would mean that the US government holds 20% of the supply, which gives them way too much power and influence. Now, luckily, the chance of him becoming president is less than 1%, so whatever he says is not relevant. Also here, fun fact, down here we also have Kanye West as a potential candidate, but of course here less than 1% chance. But general consensus is that actually Trump will become president, which will mean that many of these things can come into fruition. However, you have to be aware that this, of course, is a voting campaign, and he can say whatever he wants to get more votes and to get more favor for him in the election. Next, we still have Mt. Gox or Mt. Gox holding $5.3 billion of Bitcoin. Now, these Bitcoins are steadily being distributed to all those different exchanges, and they will be given back to the creditors. But this will not be an issue because many of them actually will not sell. And those people who sold have been selling very steadily, not at once. This is a completely different beast compared to the German government, who literally completely irresponsibly sold without any system on the open market, no OTC, and just straight one after another. On the other hand, we also had very strong ETF inflows on the Bitcoin ETFs in the last 2 weeks, and they will also absorb lots of potential selling pressure, which might come from Mt. Gox when they get their Bitcoins. We only had one little outflow day, but besides that, only inflows. And I can imagine that this will only increase in the next few weeks and few months, which will be even more tailwind for Bitcoin to reach way, way higher levels. The US government are currently holding $14 billion of Bitcoin, and yesterday many people freaked out and panicked because they moved over $2 billion of Bitcoin. Now, these have been distributed to two addresses. Number one, 10k Bitcoin, and also almost 20k Bitcoin. Now, there are two theories. The first theory is from Arkham. They just believe that they move it to an institutional custodian just to hold and to keep it there. The other theory is that they actually want to sell this, because just 3 days ago, Trump said that if he becomes president, he will not sell any Bitcoin. Instead, he will actually make sure that they have a strategic national reserve. Now, of course, right now, he's not president yet, so the opposite party are maybe trying to essentially put too much salt in his soup and destroy his dreams, and essentially destroying all the funds which they currently still hold, making it harder for him later to build up the reserves again. A lot of people blamed this transaction on the recent mini Bitcoin dump, but this of course is not true, because if you look closely, the Bitcoin got moved right around here. So the dump, the panic dump, which was completely over drastified, so the panic almost didn't do anything, and we just had a baby dump. The majority dump happened actually right here and was completely unrelated to this transaction. And as always, the market first reacts and later they ask questions. Panic and fear spread way faster than greed, and it doesn't matter if the news are correct or incorrect. All that matters is the emotion and the urgency and the fear of the market, and if people have fear, they sell. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, and that's also why we had a mini sell-off right here, just based on this fear. Exactly 1 week ago, the Ethereum ETFs started trading. On the first day, we had net inflows, but since then, we only had outflows. And we also anticipated this on this YouTube channel many videos ago, because we have one giant, which is of course here our friends Grayscale, because they had a massive Ethereum trust. This Ethereum trust was holding a lot of Ethereum, and many of the investors bought a long time ago at a huge discount. Now, of course, many of these people want to realize their profits, and now they are selling every day like clockwork. And we've also been anticipating this for a long time, and that's also why we can see that Grayscale, they have been selling every single day, and because also they are holding lots of Ethereum. Now, all the others, they are only having inflows, and once they finished selling, which might still be 1, 2, or multiple weeks, after that, I'm also expecting some inflows on Grayscale, and also even more inflows from the others. Now, this will be very good tailwind for Ethereum, especially if Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high. This will push up Ethereum even more, because the market cap of Ethereum is way smaller than Bitcoin. Another reason for those big outflows, the Grayscale Ethereum ETF now has the highest fees. Of course, people hate fees, and they can just move their funds to the other ETFs and essentially pay less in fees. That's also why they made a mini trust right here with actually the lowest fees. So over the long term, money will flow out from here and more into here. And long term, I think also that they will have more inflows than this one right here. Volume wise, the Ethereum ETFs have been a massive success. On the first day, the volume was over 1/4 of the same volume as with Bitcoin. And one thing to also keep in mind, Bitcoin is still inflationary. Yes, the inflation rate gets cuts in half every 4 years, but Ethereum actually is deflationary, which means that in the long term, Ethereum is even more scarce than Bitcoin. And Ethereum, like I said, has a smaller market cap. So Ethereum can multiply in price way easier than Bitcoin. Now I will do a deep dive into the chart and then discuss the next scenarios for Bitcoin. First of all, we had our rising pennant pattern, and we had a breakout right here. Now, as you know, I don't like to trade breakouts on patterns because number one, the risk reward generally is worse, and also you have many fake outs. The best entry is always after a breakout, a retest, which in this case we didn't get, or even better, you get an entry on the bottom trend line or on the top trend line. Here, for example, we have the advancing wicks pattern. What happens? Price goes up. Now, we still have this massive CME gap right here. And as I also mentioned in the last video, there are many massive CME gaps which have not been filled. And also, if too many people expect something to happen, many times the opposite happens. And with this one, because it was so massive and so significant in a long time, and too many people thought that it would get filled, it might actually not get filled at all. The breakout target did get hit, which was right here in this area here. We had here retracing wicks. What happens? Price goes down. Also, retracing wicks. What happens? Price goes down. Here, advancing wicks. What happens? Price goes up. Also right here, retracing wicks. What happens? Price goes down. Also, advancing wicks. What happens? Price goes up. Also, retracing wicks. What happens? Price goes down. Also, advancing wicks. What happens? Price goes up. Now, this is the most consistent, best pattern in the whole world, and you can trade this actually on any time frame and any coin. This right here, for example, is the 4-hour chart. I'm currently trading Pepe and also NOT. You can trade both also on BitGet and CoinCatch. These are right now fire to trade because the percent moves are massive and they have lots of volume and liquidity. And if you want to learn how to trade this, you can also watch this video right up here. Many people have been asking me on YouTube and Discord. The best time frames are the 1, 2, 3, and 6 minute time frame. And then for swing trades, the 12 and 24 minute. Now we have two cases, a bull case and a bear case. But first of all, let's dive into the liquidation heat map, because here we can see where the magnet is. First of all, right above us, we have lots of shorts right here, which are just 1 day old, which could easily get liquidated just above us. But way more important are all those longs. Here we have a massive minefield of long positions, which are either just 5 days old or even a little bit older from all the way back here, which we did not liquidate. I think that it is very unlikely that Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high without first liquidating all those longs. This here is really easy prey for market makers, and market makers know this and see this, and I don't believe that they will allow all these people to make money on a new all-time high. I believe we take them out first and then go up higher or lower based on the price action that we will see once we come down here. Now let's also go back to the chart, because now we will discuss the scenarios. We have 3 bear targets. Number 1 is this fair value gap here, massive volume imbalance. If we come lower, we will first most likely fill this. Number 2, we have the 200 EMA, which is all support, and worst case scenario, also right up here, all those longs which got opened here, and also even from way down here, all those longs got opened here and also here. Now, what you can do in trading, you can always have multiple take profit targets. So for example, one target is this, second target is this, third target is this. Now, we might also get a retest on the opposite side on the wedge trend line. Now, this would be not that great, because this would be a breather to go down even lower to here or to here. Now, the good news is, if we come down to here or to here, most likely we will see a double bottom with a bullish regular RSI divergence. Now, of course, this can be here or a bit higher or a bit higher. The important part is you have to observe the RSI and have to make sure you observe the price action and to see where the bottom happens. Now, if we don't get a double bottom RSI divergence, then the second scenario is, of course, an LSOB reversal, which would be like this. We come down, higher low like this, and here, this will be the bounce directly on the top of the order block. Again, if you want to learn this, you can also watch the video and learn the strategy. I will link it for you actually in the pinned comment. Either way, as long as we make a higher low right here and not below this low, we are super bullish. The bull case, if we get support in this fair value gap or on the 200, or like I said, all the way down here with a double bottom or an LSOB reversal, and we come up above the wedge trend line, I want to see a retest on the opposite. And then if we see, for example, advancing wicks here, or Morningstar, or 3-line strike, either on the 4-hour, or if we zoom in on the 1 hour, this will be an amazing long swing trade setup with low leverage for the long term to shoot for new all-time highs and also to take out all those shorts right here. The risk reward would be insane, because we would have a small stop loss of maybe around here or here, depending on how the candles are closing. And the target is minimum here or even up here. Now, this would be a minimum 1-3, 1-4, 1-5 risk reward ratio, which means you would make way more if you win than if you lose, because trading is all about risk reward and taking calculated risks on good setups. Nothing more, nothing less. Ethereum doesn't look good right now. We have a very, very steep bear flag, and as you know, a bear flag has a 60% chance of breaking down and 40% up. And the target of this bear flag would be all the way down here. And also, like I said, sadly, we still have way too much selling pressure from Grayscale and potentially also not that strong inflows yet from the others. And that being said, the bias here is a bit more down, more than up. And also, by the way, I would never trade the long breakout of this bear flag. I would only do a new trade if either we come above and get an opposite retest like this right here. If we break down and either get a double bottom with a bullish RSI divergence, or like I said, an LSOB reversal with first a sweep and then a higher low right here, boom. That would be a very good long entry, either here or either here, with low leverage for the long term, which you can also scale up even more once you're in profit and once you're risk-free with your stop loss in break even. I hope you enjoyed today's update video. If you did, please give the video also a like. Next, you can also watch this video here or this video here. Comment down below your questions and feedback, because I will read all comments and I will answer all questions and help you out with all my heart. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.